Let's make some noise. Come on.
Yeah, thank you, Nick Foles. Welcome, everybody. I'm back. That's yeah, back from the dead, man. Welcome back to the final word here on the It's Rap Sports Network with your boy MattyB back in the saddle tonight. I want to thank Big Al for jumping in last night, helping me out. I wasn't really feeling up to it last night, and there was all kinds of crap going on around here. Just felt it was better for me to step out in order to kind of handle all the stuff that was externally going on and internally. So Big Al jumped in so that the show could go on, and I want to thank him for doing that. He did a great job as usual. But I'm back tonight, and it's time to get things back right. We're going to get it. We're going to reset the clock here. Trying to again pull some things out of what's going on in the sports world, man. It's boring. It is absolutely boring. But there is some signs of life today. Today, February 3rd. It is Truck Day, so I want to be the first. If I am the first at 9:00 something at night to tell you this, then I don't know what you've been doing all day. But if I am the first, happy Truck Day. The trucks took off from Citizen Bank Park. Destination, not unknown. They will be headed to Clearwater with the Phillies stuff in it. And that means we are one step closer to the annual rite of spring, and that is spring training, which will begin here in about 7 days. I think, was it a week from today or so? The pitchers and catchers will get it going. We're one step closer to the start of the regular season, and of course, Phillies are going to be again on. They're going to continuously now from this point forward, and we've done a pretty good job on this show, never letting the Phillies fall far from the topic. But we're going to continue the conversation because a lot of the Truck Day festivities were interrupted today with signs of, I hate to say this, man, but negativity. And listen, again, if I'm noticing negativity, if I can see the negativity, it's got to be bad. And I have seen some things that are bad. So I'm going to continue to dispel some of the popular myths about the Phillies in 2026. But, of course, it's a cautionary tale, because the majority of you got it right. If you're concerned, you got it right. I don't know if you got it right all the way, but you do got the most important thing right, that this team does not seem to be any closer to a World Series now than it was 4 months ago when it stepped off the field in Los Angeles. And that is a concern that all of us are going to have to carry with us for the next 7 to 8 months. But we're going to continue the Phillies conversation. The Flyers are in action as we speak. It is early on into the third period, 2-1. The Flyers have a lead against the Capitals. They played a pretty good game up to this point. Their first period in this hockey game was really good, really energetic. The Matty and Michkov assist was a thing of beauty for Owen Tippett's goal early in the game. Dan Vildar's not really had too much to do back there, but he's been serviceable as he's keeping the Flyers involved in this game. 2-1. The Flyers are up, and we will do a twofer tonight. Yeah, that's right. I'm back with a vengeance, baby. We're doing a twofer, so at some point after this game ends, I will be coming on with the Clear the Ice program. There's a pretty little graphic there. So we'll finish this show and go right into Clear the Ice. A little update is now 2-2. Just as I said he was playing well, he gives up a bad goal. All right, so we got 2-2 now down at the center, or the arena. It is now Flyers Capitals 2-2, about 17 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the third period. And here is your Clear the Ice for the week. A very short week as we have reached the Olympic break. I have you tonight on the twofer. Mike Lara will come at you on Thursday with his standalone Clear the Ice program, as he'll have you going into the Olympic break and beyond as this team continues to befuddle. I just really was talking about how well they played tonight. They just give up a really bad goal, another breakdown goal, another rebound goal. Whatever. All right, we'll get to that. We'll wait to the end of this thing and get the Flyers conversation happening. We're going to get you caught up on the hot stove. I'm falling way behind on that as some of these last minute moves are coming in. I want to get us caught up on some of them. Do any of them really affect the Phillies? No. Again, this will be part of our Phillies conversation about the attitude of this team, thinking that they have finished. Their shopping is over and that they've done a great job. So we'll get into that. We'll update the hot stove. we are going to do a card of the night segment tonight. We're going to do two of them. Joe Hale wanted me to do two because I've been really bad with them lately. So we're going to do two cards. We're going to do our day in Philadelphia sports history, but we're not going to do a of the night segment. So no of the night tonight. I'm going to throw in another card. So we're going to do two card reviews, and we'll do our day in Philadelphia sports history. All those great and wonderful things, and anything else. Phone lines will open. Phone lines will open up here in about 5 minutes. So strap on, everybody. We're going to have fun. As again, MattyB is back. I have returned from the land of the non-living. Again, real serious note. Thank you, Al, for jumping in last night. I could have done the show. I wasn't feeling right internally. Battling something. I've been battling an eye thing over the last 9-10 days. I'm getting to the other side of that, but I just wasn't feeling. I was tired, run down. This weather, I think, is getting to me. The cold is getting to me. All I wanted to do yesterday was kind of sleep and not do anything. And so just fell off. And there was a little bit of a problem out front involving a water main burst at some point, I guess, on our street. So the water department was parked out there from about 4 o'clock in the afternoon to about 4:30 in the morning working on this thing. It didn't really affect us adversely. We had water the whole time. But my dog, who I love to death, is a skittish thing, and he wouldn't stop barking. The yellow whoopee light and all that just kept him going all night long. It would have been a disaster trying to get a show at that time when he was just losing his mind over the activity out front. So just thought it better to step out. Al jumped in last minute to fill in so we could get a show in. So again, I want to thank him for that. But I'm back, baby. So let's get this thing started. Let's strap in, strap on, strap up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And let's go with our day in Philadelphia sports history. Today, February 3rd, 1976. Interesting day in Philadelphia sports history today. In this year, 1976, February, chalk it up to the bicentennial. The NHL, NBA, and MLB All-Star games were all held in Philadelphia. Now, it's interesting because, of course, we got the MLB All-Star game coming back to celebrate the 250th. But the NBA's not here. And, of course, the NHL's in an Olympic break. So, pretty far. We've fallen pretty far here, right? We went from having all three out of the four major sports picking Philadelphia in 1976 to do their All-Star games to just having one here in 2026. But I digress. The Spectrum hosted the NBA's East vs. West midseason spectacular with the East coming out on top, 123-109. Dave Bing took MVP honors playing alongside a slew of Hall of Famers, including Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Rick Barry, Bob McAdoo, John Havlicek, Walt Frazier, Nate Tony Archibald, Elvin Hayes, and Dave Cohens. So there you go. So I guess it was more geared towards the NBA All-Star game that was held on this day in 1976. But an interesting factoid there about three of the four majors choosing Philadelphia as site to their All-Star games in 1976. And we only got one. Now, I get it. The NHL is doing the Olympics this year. I get that. But why isn't the NBA coming back here? Why is Philadelphia not hosting the All-Star game for the NBA? Would that make sense? Now, I know the World Cup is coming, right? So that's that, but they're not a major sport. Football, they're actually doing their Pro Bowl as we speak. The flag thing. Listen, we've had this conversation. I want to bring it up again because the Pro Bowl, which is happening right now, for all you out there that are interested in the Pro Bowl who have, some sort of vesting interest in it, they're playing their flag football game right now, like Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, I think the game started. Listen, I think we got to the root of why the Pro Bowl stinks anymore. But the more I think about my theory, the more I wonder if it's correct, because all the other major sports, and I'll go with baseball. Let's go with that one. still has somewhat of a baseball still's got a kind of a thing about the All-Star. There's still a charm, a mystique, some dignified stuff about the MLB All-Star game, right? I mean, why is the MLB All-Star game so much more competitive and so much more fun than all these other All-Star games? Where has MLB cracked the code, but yet the other sports can't? Now, NFL does it at the end of the season, right? And everybody else does it mid-season. So again, I asked the question. I don't understand why the Major League Baseball All-Star game is still held in high reverence versus the others, and the others just can't seem to get their act together. But tonight, the Pro Bowl, in its latest attempt to make this relevant, moving their action to a Tuesday night, flag football, just a joke, man, travesty. I don't know why they just don't go back to the way it was. Wait until the end of the season. The Pro Bowl should be next week after the Super Bowl. And it should be held in an exotic location, i.e. Hawaii, because it should be treated like, these players who actually make it to the Pro Bowl, these players that are selected to participate, should be given a little bit of a gift. And traveling out and spending a week in Hawaii to play a meaningless football game is a gift. And again, I get, we talk about when I was growing up versus today, and the ability to see all these teams more prevalently than you had back then. And I thought that was part of the why it was so popular, probably in my generation, was how often are we going to watch players from the Oakland Raiders play or from the Chargers? It was just not that prevalent. So seeing them all participate, even in a fake game, was still kind of cool, especially looking at the helmets and whatnot. It's very, very visual thing for me. But I say we stop all this tinkering. I say next year they go back to Hawaii, they go back in the pads, they go back in the helmets, they go back to football, and they do it the week after the Super Bowl. I mean, this gives the NFL another week to squeeze out a buck. I don't understand why it's so hard to figure that out. And it gives you the football fan out there. I mean, football fans are football fans. They're going to watch no matter what. Like for me, for example, I was watching Caribbean Series baseball over the weekend. The hell am I going to be? Who cares about what's happening in the Caribbean Series? Who cares who the ultimate champion of the Latin American Winter Leagues was? But here I am sitting there watching Mexico play the DR or Puerto Rico play the Mexican red team. I mean, who cares? But I'm a baseball fan, so I'm going to watch baseball. Football fans will watch it, no matter where it is, no matter what they do. But so go back to just the old way. Go back to playing it the Sunday after the Super Bowl. Put them back on the football field. Put them back in pads and a helmet. Put them back in Hawaii. And let's continue to have some fun with this thing. Make it a little bit more lucrative. Give them more money. I don't know, man. Do something. But it ain't working right now. It ain't working. But anyway, the Pro Bowl in effect right now. The Philly fact of the night was that on this night back in February of 1976, the NBA hosted their All-Star game along with three other of the four major sports in honor of the bicentennial. And there we are. So there you go. There's your day in Philadelphia sports history and your Pro Bowl breakdown on this Wednesday or Tuesday night. And here's your schedule for the rest of this week. Tonight you had the Pittsburgh Sports Tonight program. You had actually Locks, Props, and Parlays was on at 8:00, and then me at 9. And then I'm followed up by myself doing the twofer with the Flyers, Capitals, Clear the Ice tomorrow. The Pittsburgh Sports Tonight program once again. The Pittsburgh Sports Desk, and then me, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we start it all again on Sunday morning. So make sure you're checking us out, liking, sharing, and subscribing, doing all those things that the kids like you to do. Helping me out, man, try to grow this network through some critical times we're in right now. But, all right. So there you have our schedule. All right, let's get into something more lighthearted, right? Let's talk Truck Day. And this is like the rite of spring, right? This is one of those passages. These are one of the days that you sit down and say, you know what? Let me mark this day in the calendar because we're one step closer to the ultimate goal. This is how I think, at least. I feel that with Truck Day, and again, I've been with them before. I obviously didn't go today, but I've been to Truck Days before, and they're somewhat festive. I mean, it is what it is. A bunch of trucks driving away with a bunch of baseball stuff in it. Big deal, but it's more of a visual thing, right? It's, we've come out the dark side of the winter, right? Our days are a little longer. The sun's out a little bit longer these days, right? It's not getting dark about 5:30, right? So that's a checkbox, right? Now we got the trucks leaving to go down the spring training. So baseball is on the actual horizon. It's coming back. I'm a very, I love, okay. So I used to say my favorite time of the year was from Memorial Day weekend to January 1st. That was it. That was it for me. That was my time, right? I love that time. I've changed that over the years, and I've gone back. I backed it up a bit. From the opening day of baseball until January 1st is now my favorite time of the year. And we're getting closer and closer to that. And today was a stepping stone in that process. Today was a necessary step to get to where we got to be. And that's, within a couple of weeks, we're going to be watching baseball. February 21st, Phillies Blue Jays are going to kick it off for both of their teams. February 20th, for those of you that need to, quench your thirst earlier to watch at baseball, whatever it is when the first spring training games are. And then, of course, the earliest MLB has ever premiered a season, the earliest Major League Baseball has ever kicked it off on the regular season will be this year, March 26th, or I believe the 25th. Is what, Yankees Dodgers or something like that, the first game? It's going to be the first game of the season. No Korean trips, no trips to Japan. It's the straight up the way it's supposed to be. You had your standalone game on the day before, and then everybody starts the next day. And we're back to sort of the way it's supposed to be this year. So today was a necessary step. And I'm be remiss if I don't just kind of step back and be like, I get what the feelings are of the Phillies fans. I understand, man. I understand how you feel. You almost feel as if the season is over before we literally have not even begun yet. Today was the beginning in a lot of ways. So I do feel your frustrations, man. I do. Joe, what's going on? How are you today? Joe was there. Oh, how'd you like it, Joe? Was it fun? Did they have hot dogs and things for the kids? Michael Papernick, are the phone lines? They are going to be open. Michael, give me about 2 minutes and I will get them open. But let's just get back to what I was saying here. And Papernick, you're as guilty as anybody on this, and I'm guilty. And now typically I'm guilty. I am. I might be the only person out there that's not that mad about the offseason. I might be the only one. I may be, because I went into the offseason knowing that there wasn't going to be massive changes with this team. I've seen this story before. This ain't Dombrowski's first rodeo here in Philadelphia. This is not his first offseason of lies and deceit. I knew that was all, chin wagging music. Listen, and I think that we as Philly fans, or Phillies fans, should have went into the offseason a little bit more prepared for what this was going to be. They just weren't going to be players in all these big contracts. And what is a Cody Bellinger going to do for this baseball team? What is a Kyle Tucker really going to do for this? We have a whole bunch of those guys already. Bo Bichette's a little bit of a different animal. He would have been a nice get. I will give you that. But going into this offseason, Bo Bichette wasn't on my radar because I didn't think they could afford him. I've told you what my offseason plans were. I wanted an infusion of young internal talent sprinkled in with a couple different. I wanted Pete Alonso. I wanted Luis Ariz. I wanted Kaylee Jansen. I did want them to go out and bring in a couple, mid-range free agents. And Pete Alonso was going to be my big one to replace Schwarber. They didn't do that. They re-signed Schwarber. I get that. It's not what I wanted. But heading into this season, I don't feel as betrayed by the Phillies that a lot of other people do. And I also don't feel the doom and gloom of a third place season. I don't. This is still a 96 win team or whatever, it was 96, right? Now, I don't know if they're not any closer to achieving the goal of winning a World Series. I will give you that. On paper, as we start this, they're nowhere near getting and challenging for the World Series. And yes, I will agree to that. But I'm also going to push back on the fact that the baseball season is 6 months. We've seen crazier things happen in baseball. We've seen the pits and the valleys of baseball. I go back to the 2003 season. At the All-Star break, the Florida Marlins were like 8 games under 500, 7 games out of the last wild card spot. They were talking about sellers at the at the trade deadline. They're talking about firing their manager, which they did. And what happens? They have this amazing second half. They get an infusion of young talent. It starts to click. And they go on and they win the World Series. So I've seen this happen before too. The story of the 2026 Phillies is not written yet. It's nowhere near being written. It literally, the first page was today. So I'm not going to give up on hope that they're going to potentially battle for a World Series, because all you got to do is get to the playoffs. That's all you got to do. And I don't care if it's through a division championship or if it's through the wild card. Just got to get in. And then from there, all bets are off. But I do understand on paper, they're not anything different than they were coming out of last season. And you're right, they're not. But there's a few unknowns, and some of those unknowns that are concerning people are giving me actual optimism. Some of these unknowns, the unknown of what Andrew Painter will be, the unknown of what Justin Crawford will be, the unknown of what Otto Kemp, what role he's going to have in the 2026 Phillies, the unknown of a Gabe Raconis Jr. If he actually cracks the roster, if he gets an opportunity. This season, if you're looking at the history of seasons, especially this little run that we're on, if you're a young player, you have a better chance of this season than any other season that the Phillies have had over the last 4 or 5 years to really get an opportunity to play with the big club. You absolutely 100% do. And I think we can all agree to that because of just sort of the influx of some of these positions, some of the question marks with right field, some question marks with left field, some of the question marks in center field, the question mark at third base. There's a lot of question marks heading into this season about how these positions might work out. But where it gives people concern, it gives me optimism because I know the backfill for these positions are going to be young players who deserve the opportunity to infuse themselves into the core of this team. And maybe that's the DNA change that I'm looking for. And I said that heading into the offseason. I did not expect them to be big-time players in free agency. I wanted one big splash player, and that was Alonso. They gave me Schwarber. But I didn't expect them to be big-time players. I didn't. I wanted this team's DNA to change, and it wasn't going to change with Kyle Tucker. It wasn't going to change with Cody Bellinger. It might have changed a little bit with Bo Bichette. It might have. I'll give you that. But what I wanted was the DNA change to come from the system, the minors. I spend a lot of time in my life and in my profession as an umpire, I work with kids that, I've seen, I know 7 kids right from last season. I'm not going to name their names, but I umped them when they were in college and they're playing in Major League Baseball. So I am a big fan of the developmental side of baseball. A lot of people shoo it. A lot of people think, it's whatever. Minor league baseball is probably the best of any of the minor leagues, and just the sheer numbers of players, the numbers of teams, the numbers of levels of different leagues. It's great to watch some of these kids progress and make a run. So I have optimism about what this final story will be. I'm not optimistic on February 3rd because I think we already know what this team is, and that's scary that we know what they are on February 3rd. We do. And that wasn't good enough. But we don't know how they're going to be on October 3rd. And nobody knows that right now. And we have to let the season sort of play itself out. So and again, if I'm picking up on the negativity, then it must be really bad. It must be real bad if I'm picking up on it. I'm not ready to sell the season out right yet. I'm not ready to say it's over. I'm not ready to say that they're a third place team. I'm not ready to say any of that stuff. I want to watch spring training and 162 games of the regular season play out before I make a final assessment. Now, it could all fall off a cliff, a la 2012, right? And then we could be faced with a 2013 to 2018 situation. I understand, or 2017. I understand that. But we don't know. And the Aiden Millers of the world, the Otto Kemps, the Painters, the Crawfords, the Raconuses, the Seth Johnsons, the Moises Chases, the the Gage Woods, Dante Norries, the Caden Hedingers, the Jordan Distance, all those players of the world, the Keatons, Anthony Keatons of the world. These are kids that are battling their butts to play Major League Baseball. And I think this year and moving forward is going to be an opportunity finally for this organization to let some of these young kids play. And you sprinkle them into the Harpers and Turners of the world, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. So I'm not doom and gloom about the Philly season on February 3rd. I'm just not. I mean, truck day, literally, I would say, if I was a betting man, where are the trucks at right now? Maybe in the Carolinas somewhere. I mean, they're not even in Florida yet, for God's sake, man. So, I mean, geez. All right, what we got here? All right, let's open them up, man. The phone lines are now open. If you guys want to jump in and join the conversation live, you may. Dave Yarnold checks in, says right now the AFC is up 38-28. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. What's going on? Yeah, I just went on about a 5-minute rant how, first off, leave flag football where it belongs on Saturday afternoons or Saturday mornings in beer league with a bunch of guys from a bar. All right, let's leave flag football where it belongs. If you're going to play, I know they're thinking about making it an Olympic sport in 2028. Is that when the summer games are? I know that it's in LA, right? Flyers have scored late. Very good. But I don't know, man. There was a lot of contact with the goalie there. But anyway, leave flag football where it belongs, in my opinion. On Saturday afternoons at the bar leagues. Go back to the old Pro Bowl. Go back to Sundays. Go back to Hawaii. Go back to the week after the Super Bowl. Go back in the pads. Go back in the helmets. And go back to playing some football. So, but Dave Yarnold checking in with some Pro Bowl updates. Michael asking Joe how he's doing. Okay. Phone lines are open. Let's go with the first caller of the night. It's Joe Hale. Joe, how you doing?
I'm good. It's a good goal by the Flyers, by the way. Michael Papernick, I'm doing okay. I'm a lot better. I was on with Al yesterday. He actually did pretty good for phoning on for you.
Oh, you were on? He opened the phone lines? I asked him if he was going to do it. Did he do it?
Yes. And then he told his story about the phoning. So we said on
You can understand why he's a little cautious about doing that right after hearing that story.
Yeah, but he said as long as me or Ricky or Papernick, he'll open it up on Friday.
Good.
I don't want to talk Eagles. We're done. I want to talk NBA trade deadline. Did you see how many NBA trades so far?
Yeah, I was watching it today. They were dropping left and right. Left and right trades were happening today, but nothing with the
Sixers.
Nothing with the Sixers. And I know Harden's a big name that's being thrown around. I know.
No, Harden just got dealt.
Greek Freak.
Harden just got
saying no.
Cleveland.
Oh, it happened?
Yes, Harden went to Cleveland.
Okay. But nothing on the Giannis front yet?
No, nothing. It's great. He's not going to be dealt here. I think the Sixers are going to go get Bobby Portis. I don't
think the Sixers are going to do anything. I don't think they want to get rid of that top 10 protected pick. I don't think they want to they want to upset the apple cart. They're not going to get rid of Edgecombe. They're not going to get rid of McCain. I think they're going to sit forward and they're going to be like, okay, we got something good here. We may not be a championship team this year, but with the top 10 protected pick, Maybe we get better next year. Maybe we can move off of Paul George in the offseason and get even younger.
You have 2 projected top 10 picks now. I don't know if you knew that.
I thought it was just the one.
It's 2. Well, it could be 2.
Okay. But again, I think the Sixers would be better to stay pat, honestly.
So, my truck day experience, that was pretty fun.
So let me ask you a question. Is it like organized? Is it like a carnival? Like how would you just walk up and stand there and watch them load? What do you do?
You can't watch them load.
So what is it? You hang out in the parking lot?
Huh?
What do you just hang out in the parking lot until they drive by?
No, it's on the street. It's on Broad and Patterson.
Yeah. So you just kind of line the streets like a parade and wait for them to come by?
Yeah.
Okay.
The coolest person out there besides the Fanatic was Larry Boa.
Boa was out there? The Fanatic and Boa were out there? That's what I'm talking about, man.
And Mickey Morandini.
Really? Was there music, food, drink? I mean, was it like a party? Like, Joe, describe it to those that were not there, please.
It wasn't a party, but there was food trucks right there that you had to pay money for. There was a live band, and of course the one that was leading the truck was the Fanatic.
Cool.
Very
cool.
Yeah, it's organized.
Yeah, as it should be.
And looking back, I just found a picture 2 years ago. I'll send it to you. I met Dombrowski. Because remember when they used to do the radio show in Citizens Bank Park? I met him, and I met who is it? He used to be on TV. He does the pre and post game show.
Oh, Barkan.
No, not Barkan. On the radio.
He does the pre and post game show on 94 WIP?
Yes.
It used to be Gilio. I don't know. Who's it now?
I'm not sure. I'll find it and I'll send them to you.
All right.
So.
All right, Joe. Joe, so let me ask you this. With the doom and gloom, and I understand. I know in off seasons go, this wasn't what a lot of Phillies fans expected. I personally thought this was exactly how the off season was going to go. But are you ready to punt? Are you punting the season on February 3rd?
Let's start it right now. I'm ready.
Yeah, but are you punting it now? You saying it's done, it's over, I'm moving on? I mean, are you checked out before you even check in?
No, I'm checked in. I'm excited for this season.
Yeah, I agree. It's too soon. The story of this team has not been written yet. There could be 1,001 changes between now and the end of the season. We've all been through this. Yes, it's frustrating, Joe. It's frustrating to watch teams allegedly around you get better, right? But we've seen the Mets get better before and it didn't work. We've seen teams get better before and not work. But I understand the frustration. But you don't sign players just to sign them. You got to be strategic about who you're bringing in here. Kyle Tucker would not have done anything for this base. We have too many Kyle Tuckers. We have too many Cody Bellingers. Bo Bichette maybe is an outlier. I give you that. I would have loved to have seen Bo Bichette here, but he wasn't on my radar to start, so I wasn't that upset when it didn't happen.
I was at Walmart today, and I had a chance, which I'm going to go back tomorrow to buy a Crawford jersey and a Panda jersey for $25 at Walmart.
What number are they giving Crawford?
I'm not. I saw. I should have took a picture.
What about Painter? You see his number too?
No, it just said Painter.
So no numbers, right?
Not yet.
Or there was. You just don't remember.
I just don't remember.
Home jerseys, away jerseys. What were they?
The alternate home ones.
The creams.
Yes. So it was Walmart.
Yeah, I'd definitely scoop one up if I was you. I'd scoop both of them up if I was you. You're going to be wearing both of them this year.
Yes, and I'm purchasing tickets to the All-Star game. I'm thinking about going to, so they have, and then I'll get off. They have opening dates, a free game package for $100. You chose the All-Star game with it, and you get to the Futures game at opening day.
Well, hang on, Joe. So MLB. So is this coming from the Phillies or MLB?
Phillies.
So the Phillies are selling a package right now because this is important because I'm thinking about going to the All-Star game. So you're telling me they're selling a package right now for $100 a ticket that includes opening day, Futures game, and the MLB All-Star game and home run derby?
No, home run derby separate.
So Futures game, All-Star game,
and
opening day for $100. Are you serious?
So that's like $330 altogether.
No, that's a great. Oh, okay. Oh, so $100 a piece.
Yes, that's not bad.
Okay. Well, it would be a lot better if it was all for $100. Now, is that for one? Is that one person? That's a deal for one person.
No, it's 2 tickets. So you get to bring your friend.
Okay, so 2 tickets. I need 4.
Okay.
So that would be $700. It's not a bad deal if you think about it that way, because they got the whole MLB experience as well going on that week.
Somebody said the draft is going to be $10 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And
that usually is.
That's at the convention center.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Convention center. That's the most likely spot for it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun summer, Joe. It's going to be a fun summer.
The AAA All-Star game is in Lehigh Valley this year.
Oh, they're hosting it, huh?
Yes, because they get everything. They get the Futures game also.
Oh, see? Look at that. If you're in the baseball, the Delaware Valley is the place to be this summer. Absolutely, Joe Hale. Good stuff, man. I thank you for the info there. I need to let my wife know that.
Home run derby is going to be on a Monday.
Yeah, and the game's on Tuesday.
Yes.
It's always like that. Come on, Joe.
And then the Celebrity All-Star game is actually pretty cool.
When is that?
That is earlier in the day before the home run derby, like at 1:00 in the afternoon.
I don't need to go to that, but hey, if they let me in for free, I'll go.
No, you do get.
I'll go in for free. I'll go hang out and watch that game for free. But all right, Joe. Listen, thanks for jumping in, man. Thank you for helping out Al last night. Thank you for supporting that. Just wasn't feeling right last night. There was a couple other things going on, but we'll be back tomorrow. What's that?
Flyers are about to win. 1 minute and 24.
Yeah, I see that. Well, stick around, Joe, because we're going to get the clear the ice here somewhat after this game or this show ends. But all right, Joe, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, Joe Hale, my man. Oh, there you go. So Joe Hale's giving the skinny. Now, I can't confirm this, but he's saying essentially the Phillies, not Major League Baseball, are offering a ticket package for you and a friend, so 2 people, 2 tickets for the Phillies home opener on March 26th against the Rangers, which you will probably have an opportunity to watch Chris Sanchez duel against Jacob deGrom. Then turn around and have a ticket to the All-Star game, 2 tickets to the All-Star game, and 2 tickets to the Futures game. Home run derby sold separately for $330 some odd bucks. Not a bad deal if you itemize it down. And then, of course, all the other stuff is going to go along with the All-Star festivities. As you mentioned, the Celebrity All-Star game, the home run derby, the draft, which will be here. It's going to be a fun weekend, man. And I know that being relevant as a baseball team would be really good. I get that. And I honestly think they will be, but I cannot wait. It's going to be a great summer. And as I said, and we've talked about this might have to last us a while, right? I mean, with the impending CBA problems coming up on December 1st, this might have to last a little while in our hearts. So if you're wanting to get out there and get your baseball Jones fix, because we might be in for a siege after the season, you might want to go out and really participate as much as you can in this summer's Philadelphia All-Star festivities. Dave Yarnold continues to update us with the Pro Bowl is now 44-36 and AFC is up. So, and in Philadelphia, here at the arena with about 20 seconds remaining, the Flyers have just iced the game away. The empty netter makes it 4-2. Flyers are on their way to capturing the victory over the Capitals, moving themselves into that elusive 60-point plateau. And I will have you with Clear the Ice momentarily after we finish this show. But we have some things to still kind of attend to here. Then we'll get to the Clear the Ice program. Mike Laro checks in. Hey, what's going on, Mike? Mike finished up with the Locks, Props, and Parlay program for the season just a few minutes ago. We'll be back next summer. When the hell was that start? When is college football? I know they start the weekend before. Where is it? No, Labor Day weekend, don't they? Don't they start Labor Day weekend? Week 0, they call it. That's like what? 27th, 28th, something like that of August. Anyway, Mike will be back then for season 2 of Locks, Props, and Parlays. Oh, Adam, I'm sorry, Adam. I didn't say how are you, Adam? Good to see you tonight. Hope all is well. Yeah, that's what I thought, Labor Day weekend. But that's not week 1, that's week 0. And then week 1 is the following week, coinciding with the start of NFL football. I actually like that. I like that they break it up like that. I've always dug that. That was a good idea to do. It's official. Flyers have won 4-2. So we will get to the Clear the Ice program here in a little bit. But again, I have a few other things I got to attend to on this side. But just to kind of wrap up the Phillies point, I do want to transition to 2 other Phillies points, and we'll move on to some other business. Nick Castellanos is the next point that I want to get into. I know, we've talked about this all off season long, and we've gone over the fictitious trades. People have floated all kinds of ridiculousness about trading Nick Castellanos, and I know the prevailing winds are now. I mean, the guy was out there like pimping himself out. Look, everybody, I can play first base. If you need a first baseman, I'm the man. He plays first base for me on the 2021 show game. MLB The Show. I have the 2021 version. I've been playing it. I'm up to season 2028 right now. By the way, I'm the 7-time defending world champions. I've never lost with the Phillies. With as an exact roster as I can get it while playing a 2021 version of the show. And it's pretty complete. I got just about them all. There's no Rafael Marchand. I don't have Andrew Painter or Crawford. Those guys are way too young. But I'm pretty much rocking I'm like a 95% Phillies roster, like a current Phillies roster. But anyway, in that version where I'm the and Don Mattingly's been my manager for the last 3 seasons. So hey, MattyB knows what he's talking about, man. He really does. But I've won the World Series every year since 2021 as the Phillies. But Nick Castellanos has been playing first base for me off and on for the last 6 years. So anyway, Castellanos is pimping himself out, showing general managers and team executives, I can play first base. I can be versatile. Please, somebody trade for me. I got to get the hell out of here. But we have no takers. And then we had Jack Fritz on the AM Philly Sports Show a few weeks back. And Jack said, because I asked a very impotent question, the Phillies cannot, for the mental well-being or the mental health and the mental well-being of their team, Nick Castellanos cannot go to spring training as a Philly. I mean, I there's no way, right? He can't walk into that locker room knowing he's a dead man walking. There's just no way that Dave Dombrowski would subjugate us to that, right? Or Nick, or the media. There's no way, and I don't see anybody responding in the chat. Is anybody going to back me up on this? There's no way, right, that they can actually allow Nick Castellanos to come to camp. Does anybody see that working out well at all? And I get, you want to hold off because potentially somebody could get hurt during spring training, and a team all of a sudden might be in need for a right fielder, left fielder, converted first baseman that strikes out a ton. So I get it. But there's no way. So is Nick Castellanos forcing the Phillies' hand? I mean, we got about a week and a half, right? I think next Friday is when players report or something like that. Next Thursday or Friday. The pitchers and catchers get 2 days on their own, and then everyone else has got to be there. So by the time the team starts its first workouts, which is next week, back end of next week, Nick Castellanos cannot be a member of this team. And Jack Fritz was like, well, they'll bring him to camp. Wait and see. Somebody will get hurt. Somebody might need him. I don't think the Phillies should do that. That's going to set this season off in the wrong foot. And unfortunately, I'm sure team execs, team GMs know this, and they're just waiting, sitting back for when it gets cut. And they can scoop him up for pennies on the dollar. So this whole Castellanos saga and drama, the inevitability is he's getting cut. He's not going to get traded. I don't think no one's trading for him. I don't see it. The inevitability is that he'll get DFA'd. So why don't we just DFA him already? And let's turn the freaking page. Because I do not prescribe in it being a good idea that Nick Castellanos comes to camp as a Philly. Because there's just no way that he's going to actually be a member of this baseball team this year. And then the last point about the Phillies, and we'll move on to our card of the night, and then we'll do some clear the ice. Baseball night tonight. I'm not talking Eagles either. If you guys want to talk Eagles, you can. But until Vic Fangio decides what he's doing, there's nothing really else to talk about. And we're not nowhere near free agency. With the Super Bowl coming, though, we will give our picks on this program on Thursday night. I will give you who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. Not a real shock either, but we'll give our – and by the way, next Thursday, not this Thursday, but the Birds Blast will return for one final episode. Kyle will come back, and we will wrap up the 2025 season. We will talk about the Eagle 49er game. That's right. I'm going to relive that. And then we'll recap the rest of the NFL postseason and look ahead. And I'm sure we'll talk Sean Mannion. Was it Manahan? Mannion. We'll talk Mannion. Maybe we're talking about a new defensive coordinator. We're going to talk about free agency, talk about the draft, talk about all those wonderful things, and yes, talk about the 2026 Eagle schedule. For those of you that don't know, it's out. It's been out actually since right before the end of the regular season, and here it is. Now, of course, we don't know dates and times, but we know teams and places. And here is their home and their road schedule for 2026. Of course, the NFC has 9 home games this year. The NFC East will play the NFC East. The NFC East will also play the AFC South. The NFC East will play the NFC West. The NFC East will play one team from the NFC South, which is your opposite number. If you were the first place team in the NFC East, well, then you'll play the first place team in the NFC South. The NFC East will also play one team from the NFC North. NFC East will also play one team from the AFC North. Am I missing? Is there something else below that? But here it is, and I think there's one more thing underneath there. But here it is in a nutshell. Matter of fact, let's get that ticker out of there so we can see the Seattle Seahawks. But here it is in a nutshell. And obviously home away against the Giants, Cowboys, and Commanders. Home games against the Texans, the Colts, the Panthers, the Steelers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. So, with the exception of Dallas, the Giants, and the Commanders, you're basically playing an entire home schedule of playoff teams. I get it. The Colts didn't make it, but if Danny Dimes would have stayed healthy, they probably would have. But you're playing a pretty stout home schedule. The Battle of Pennsylvania is on. It's going to be fun with the Pittsburgh guys. We're going to have some fun with that, I'm sure. And, of course, we got the NFC champs, Seattle Seahawks. NFC runner-up in the Rams. And a very, very good Texans team. So, interesting home schedule. 9 games. Hopefully, they'll have at least one back-to-back this year. Now, your road schedule again, of course, Dallas, Giants, and Commanders, but road games against Jacksonville, Tennessee, Arizona, San Fran, and Chicago. You take Tennessee and Arizona out of there, another pretty stout road schedule. I would probably bank on the fact that Bears game will be sometime in late December. They'll sandwich that thing in between like a West Coast trip. Why do I not see that? Why do I not see a trip to San Francisco followed up with a trip to Chicago late in the season next year? Why does that not surprise me if that happens? Again, a pretty stout schedule. Now, we don't know year to year, and that's the one good thing about what I guess the NFL has morphed into. We don't know year to year how these teams are going to look. But, I mean, the smart money is on Arizona not being any good. They're never any good. Tennessee might be better. Second year on the Cam Ward, new head coach, new philosophy. Is Jacksonville for real? Are they for real? So, not an easy schedule. Now, of course, the 9 home games do help, but not an easy schedule for the Eagles in 2026. So, me and Kyle will get a head start on this, breaking this down a little bit, along with everything else that we do on the Birds Blast, for one final episode until we see you again on the Thursday after the draft, when we'll return for season 7. I cannot believe it'll be season 7 of the Birds Blast with Kyle Quinn. Now, it wasn't called the Birds Blast all those seasons. We've gone under different names, but every season we've had, it'll be 7 years in 2026. Kyle has been doing a pregame show with me in one way or another. So he owes me everything he is as a broadcaster. But anyway, yeah, Kyle will be back next Thursday, so we'll wrap that up. But props, locks, and parlays on the shelf now until August, and Birds Blast will join it next week when we wrap that up as we move into the winter doldrums. But right before, of course, we come out of those winter doldrums into the spring, and baseball is here. I said it over the weekend. The Caribbean Series was over the weekend, and now I don't think there's any baseball coming up this weekend. But college baseball starts. Actually, college baseball actually started already in certain places, certain levels. But college baseball is on. My first game is next Monday in North Carolina. I'll be doing a game, a NAIA game. Yeah, man, we're here. We've arrived at the baseball season. So good stuff. All right, let's move now to our final segment. And I've been real negligent, but I'm gonna give you a 2 for tonight before we transition to the Flyers and the Clear the Ice. Flyers winners 4-2 tonight over the Capitals, have now moved to 60 points on the year. Get a strong win against the Ottawa Senators, go into the Olympic break, and maybe we salvage some of this. I went off on the Flyers the other night. We'll save another outburst on them till tomorrow or whatever. Leave them alone. We're going to talk Flyers Capitals here in a minute, but let's do this segment first, and then we'll get to Clear the Ice. But here we go. My favorite segment of all time. Yep, that's right. MattyB's card review has returned with a vengeance tonight. 2 cards. 2. Joe Hell wanted to do 2 because I hadn't done it in a while. I'll give the people what they want, and we're going to do 2 cards tonight. So buckle up for that. And Joe's asking me, can we do 2? Yes, we're doing 2. Let's get into it. Our first card of the night, a card for 2025. Matter of fact, both these cards are from 2025. Both of them are Topps. One is Topps Chrome Update. One is Topps Series 1 2025. Again, for all you card aficionados out there, February 12th, 2026 Series 1 will hit the shelves of your local Targets, Walmarts, card stores. It's funny because, I work in Cooperstown all summer. I umpire all summer long, and when I come home at night, I go down this lonely ass country road, and then at the end of this road, there's this gas station, like seemingly like kind of in the middle of nowhere. And I always stop there on the way home to grab either something to drink or something to eat, or get gas, whatever. One night, early June, I come in and there's a box of Series 1 2025 baseball cards sitting up by the register. I'm like, oh my God, that's what I'm talking about. So for the next 3 nights or 4 nights, whatever, I go in there and pick me up a pack of cards. And of course, when I started, the box was full. And as I went in a few days, and it got lighter and lighter and lighter. And then I go back in one day and there's no cards. And I'm like, hey, you getting any more? Because you got me sort of become now a routine here. I got to pick up a pack of cards. And he's like, no. He's like, that was a surprise. That wasn't necessarily, we didn't order those. They just showed up. So we don't know. I'm like, God damn. Of course, no more cards the rest of the summer, but whatever. But for those of you that are counting down like I am, February 12th is when Series 1 2026 will hit the shelves. But tonight, let's start with our first card, the Topps Chrome Update Series. It was an insert they did for that series. Of course, that's the granddaddy of them all, the final baseball card series up tops of that year that they do, the Update Chrome. And, of course, a big-time player found his way onto the insert. One of the inserts they did was the Nightmare Terror. They're called Nightmare Terror cards, right? And I'll show you what they look like here in a second. They're all pretty much the same background and layout. It's just, of course, a different player. And our card tonight is the Nightmare Terror NT number 2 Shohei Ohtani Refractor Chrome Update Series card. Right now, if you were to try to pick this card up in a, try to buy it off of somebody on the reputable databases that I use a few of them. Let's see if they've changed. This stuff does change a lot. So let's take a look at the latest prices here. All right. But there is no tracking. So we had I'll give you the latest sales of this card. These are raw cards, ungraded. One just went for $6.50. A PSA 9 went for $20, and a PSA 10 just sold for $60. And one went for $73. Another one went for $150, but the $150 was the pink foil variant. I am showing you the base variant of this card. So anywhere between 73 and 60 if you had a PSA 10. Ungraded, if you're trying to move this card and you're trying to be fair, you're moving it for anywhere between $7 and $12. I always like, because I very, very, very low pop of my cards are graded. So when I look at the overall, like I look at these trends about, how they're selling and what variant or what grade they're selling at, I kind of half it in the middle, because I don't know if I have a PSA. You never know what you have. You can always sit there and look at a card and say, yeah, it's 10, but no, you'll be wrong more than you're right. There's such a process in grading these damn things. So I kind of half it. So for example, if I was going to try to sell this card, say on eBay or something like that, I'd probably put it, around $30. I'd try to move it for 30, in between the 9 and 10 variant. You always want to try to make a couple bucks on your own. It's a pretty cool card. Again, it's a Nightmare Terror set. And it's a refractor. And there's Shohei right there. Of course, the face of Major League Baseball in 2025 and beyond. And, a pretty cool layout. Not much thought really into this. It's, it's pretty standard. Again, this is the base, but there's variants of this card that are floating around in the Update Series collection. And this is the base version. So, not a bad design. I like the, kind of, it has the orange and black a little bit going on, obviously Halloween colors. And when these cards come out, it's towards the back end of the season. It's after the season ends. It's around the October, November timeframe when these cards come out. So it's pretty applicable for the time frame. But yeah, pretty cool card. And again, as I said, and here it is in its physical form right here. The Shohei Ohtani NT2 Topps 2025 Chrome Update Series, Nightmare Terror, Shohei Ohtani. Anywhere between right now, trending ungraded about between $7 and $25, or I should say $7 and $12, and then graded PSA 10 went for $74. So not a bad little card to kind of hold on to. Again, these are the Ohtanis. We've talked about what you do with cards like this. Yeah, you put these cards away and you just wait and see Ohtani's career and how many plateaus he accomplishes in that career. And then hopefully in about 40 years from now, you're talking Ohtani like it's a Mickey Mantle rookie from 52. So Papernick checks in. I'll call tomorrow night. I'm back at work, and it's BB Bop. Okay, no, absolutely, Mike. I understand. So that's card number one. Now let's get to our second card, because yes, I am going to do 2 cards. We'll do the hot stove tomorrow. Please, somebody remind me to do the hot stove. I'm like 4 pages back, 4 pages behind on the hot stove, and we're going to actually stop doing the hot stove here soon. Pitchers and catchers report Tuesday, right? I'm done. As soon as pitchers and catchers report, we turn the hot stove off till next year. So that's, again, another plateau that we're getting towards. But our second card of the night is from 2025 as well, from Series 1, and this is a base card as well. Another hot young name in baseball. Cincinnati Reds phenom, Elly De La Cruz. This is his future card, or his future star card. Now, we've debunked this before on this program. And, you know, with the Topps really screwed this up in their history when it came to denoting rookie cards. You know, it was a lot more easier before they made such a fuss over a rookie card. I think it really kind of started with the McGwire 87, where they put the Topps rookie cup on it. But that's not McGwire's rookie card. McGwire's rookie card is actually from the 85 set with his USA baseball card. So that really threw the whole, like, what's a rookie card, what's not a rookie card, sort of into sort of some flux. Future Stars cards are not rookie cards. They're not. Now, they could be. They could be. If you say pull the Future Star card from like a update series set, because you could have a rookie that comes on the scene early in the year and then just has that kind of season where they put his Future Star card into his rookie set, the rookie season, sort of the kind of like line that up. But typically your Future Star cards are the player's second year. And you know, we've debunked the whole rookie cup versus the rookie shield. If you have the rookie cup, which they're still floating around out there, those gold cups that you see on, but that's not rookie. That's not a rookie card either. The official Topps definition of a rookie card is the rookie card shield. It's the RC shield. I've shown you them before. It's a little bit on the lower part of the card. That is an official rookie card. All this other stuff is sort of just kind of confusing, but I guess Topps try to make it unconfusing by doing it like this. But anyway, this is Elly De La Cruz's Future Stars card from 2025, Series 1. The reason why I like this card, and this card is actually utterly worthless right now. I think, well, no, not really. A PSA 10 is looking at around $30. A ungraded raw card, just like this one, probably about $7. So it's not worthless. I think I'm selling one right now on eBay for about $15. And see if I can move it. But it's pretty cool cards. I love the action shot cards, man. I love when they do this. You know, when they take a picture like this. So I'm digging the whole thing. I'm a big fan of Elly. I think he's a really good player, and you know, throw his Future Stars card as a action card, a pretty cool card. I like the Future Stars sort of layout that they got for the 2025. The way they did that, it's not bad. You know, so it's a pretty cool looking card. And again, it's between $30 right now. I saw PSA 10 go for, and about $7 for an ungraded card. So somewhere in the middle there. But here's Elly's 2025 Future Star card, Topps Series 1. And here you go. There's Elly right there. Again, I love the action shots. I get a cool one of Andy Van Slyke from like 89 Dunross, where he's sliding in the third. And Tim Wallach, who's playing third for the Expos at this particular moment in time, is very prevalent in the card as well. It's almost like I got a 2-for card. And it's an action shot card as Van Slyke is sliding into third base. And this is sort of kind of in that same vein. So there you have it. Elly De La Cruz's Future Stars 2025 Top Series 1 and Shohei Ohtani's Nightmare Terrors Topps Chrome Update Series 2025. And those were your card reviews of the night. 2 really cool looking cards. 2 really good players. The Ohtani card or anything with Ohtani on it, you stick away and you just pray to God that he becomes the greatest baseball player ever to play the game. And players like Elly, it's almost like an Ozzie Smith type thing going on with an Elly De La Cruz. He probably will be in the Hall of Fame. Where does he grade out in the Hall of Fame? It's so funny anymore when you look at cards. You could have I'm trying to think of a card that I have that you would. Okay, well, no. So Joe Mauer. I have a Joe Mauer from 2018. Now, Joe Mauer, of course, is a Hall of Famer and one of the best players ever played the position at first base, what have you. That card right now as a base card is worth about $9, and he's a Hall of Famer, right? But of course, if I had the same card in a gold foil or a chrome, it'd probably be worth about $109. It's it's no longer anymore about the player. It is, but that used to be all it was about the player, right? Now it's about the insert. Now it's about the effect. Is it a chrome? Is it a foil? Is it a sapphire? Is it a gold? Is it a rainbow? It's all about the bells and whistles now. I don't really necessarily like that because it makes this thing so much goddamn more complicated. It's fun. It's a lot more fun, but it's so much more complicated to have to try to maneuver. Because, am I selling my soul away if I sell a Shohei Ohtani 2017 Topps Chrome for $500? Did I just get taken on that card? You know what I mean? Or did I make a good deal? It's a really, the whole business is sort of a gamble, but when you factor in all these bells and whistles, man, it becomes complicated. Sometimes too complicated for this old guy here, but baseball card collecting or card collecting in general, not just baseball. And we are going to start doing basketball, football, and hockey again on this show, on this segment. I got a ton of those cards that I got to start talking about. So we're going to incorporate some of the other sports here soon too. There you have it. There's my 2-for on the card review. And now that's going to wrap me up on the program here. But please stay tuned as we're going to transition right to Clear the Ice as the Flyers defeated the Washington Capitals tonight 4-2 down there at the Xfinity Arena. And let's go right into that. So I'll see you guys in about 40 seconds. Stay tuned for Clear the Ice. All right, we're back, and welcome to Clear the Ice here on the It's Sports Network. Your boy Matty on the call tonight. Flyers 4-2 winners. Right the ship temporarily tonight as they played a pretty decent game down there. I ain't gonna lie. There's been a lot of turmoil, and of course we all remember the Flyers Lives Fight for Lives. I know they don't. Do they call it that anymore? They don't call it Flyers Lives Fight for Lives Carnival, but that turned into a big mess down there when Rick Tocchet was doing his interview circuit and just laying out all kinds of bad laundry. There's been some questions about Rick Tocchet's competencies as a head coach. There's been some questions about Rick Tocchet's accountability measures. People are actually, I think, missing John Tortorella and the way he ran his ship, as stories of MattyB and Mitchkoff not showing up for treatments on time, medical treatments, and other players missing things and not being held accountable. Of course, the MattyB and Mitchkoff showing up out of shape was verified by Rick Tocchet over the weekend at the carnival there. So And then there's just been some poor play with this team all through the month of January. Really played themselves out of a position, that a really good position that they were in. But tonight, a big win, a 4-2 win over the Capitals. They've now moved to 60 points on the year. And as we get ready to get into that Olympic break, a win against Ottawa on Thursday might go a long way in sort of calming things down, at least for 3 weeks, as this team tries to find some footing. And tonight went a long way. And again, I would have to say that that first period tonight was one of the better first periods I've seen the Flyers play in a while. They had something that they haven't had coming into games for the last month. I mean, the entire month of January has been the same type of hockey we've seen from this team. Real slow starts. They got off to very slow starts. They look like they're about to be skated off the ice at times in first periods in January, but not tonight. They took the play right to the Capitals right in the beginning, and just played a really aggressive style of play in that first period. And they were rewarded in that period with a goal, a beautiful goal, from Michkov to Tippett. Just a beautiful pass that got Tippett, sprung Tippett behind the defense inside the zone, put him on a nice little 1-on-0, mini 1-on-0 break. Made a nice little move to the far side and scored the goal there. But a really, really positive game tonight by the Flyers, as they played a better, mentally sound game, and one of their better games in a while. For the Capitals, their healthy scratches tonight were Dylan McGlarth, Declan Chisholm, and Bowden Tinnery. For the Flyers, it was Garnet Hathaway, Sam Emerson, who's dealing with a lower body injury again, and thank God, Emil Andre. Dude, can we get rid of him? Yeah, we have 3 weeks. Can we get rid of him? In the nets, the Flyers went back with, of course, Dan Vladar got to start tonight. Played well for the Flyers. Faced tonight, he faced only 28 shots, but that's, I shouldn't say only. You say only 20 shots. 28 is a pretty good night's work. Made 26 saves, and he finished with a .929 save percentage. Now, he gave up that big fat rebound goal late to get the game tied, but all in all, Vladar played as he's been playing all season, as a competent backup. That's just the way it is for me. But he played well, and he played well enough to win. Stevenson got the nod for the Caps, faced 21 shots, and finished with a .857 save percentage. Let's get into some of the breakdowns of these goals. Of course, we're doing a twofer, so I don't have the goals segregated. We're not going to actually look at video, but we'll talk them. Again, the aforementioned Owen Tippett goal at the 5:56 mark of the first period got this thing going, his 19th from Sanheim, and a beautiful pass from Michkov. Again, this is one of these. There was one of those passes where you should be able to get 2 points, or at least a half more point on the assist. It was that pretty of a pass that got Tippett behind the defense inside the Capital zone on a little 1-0 breakaway to make the score 1-0. And that would be your score heading into the first intermission. The Flyers would be outshot in that period, 11-7. Coming out into the second, the Flyers would up their lead to 2-0 at the 4:45 mark. Carl Grunderson, his 8th from Delorier and Ristolainen, who made an appearance tonight. Risto back on the ice, baby. Man, it must be spring. It was making it 2-0 at that point. But then the Capitals would get back into this thing. Alexi Protres, his 19th goal at the 8:12 mark on the shorty. Again, you don't want to give up the goals like that. As I said, it was one of the better games the Flyers have played. Not their best. Their first period was really good. They kind of waned a little bit, but giving up a shorthanded goal is never good. Special teams has been a problem with this team all year, not just on the power play, not just on the shorthanded. Every aspect of special teams have been a problem for the Flyers in 2025-26. And that is something that we got to get a hold of. If you're not going to get the goaltending, which we know we're not going to get, you got to provide your goalie as much support as you can. And we're not getting the defense that we know we're not getting, right? So you cannot give up shorthanded goals, and you got to take advantage of power plays. And the Flyers have, I think this is what, their 5th goal that they've given up shorthanded on the season, which is terrible. But that's how your score would be, 2-1 heading into the second intermission. Flyers would be outshot 7-6 in that second period. And then the Capitals would get the equalizer by Anthony Bellivar his 12th at the 240 mark. This was a bad goal. This was a big fat rebound given up by Vladar, and Belvar was standing right there in front of the net. Nobody was even around him as he just popped the big fatty back in to make it 2-2. But then late in this game at the 14:37 mark on the power play, I think we just talked about how bad their special teams have been, and maybe this is the sign that it's going to get better. Jamie Drysdale. So this is a really good positive goal. Power play goal and Jamie friggin' Drysdale. His 4th goal of the year from Zegras and Konechny that give the Flyers a 3-2 lead. They would add the empty netter a little bit later on, and Risto would get that one. His 1st goal of the year. Oh, man. Anyway, Jamie Drysdale, who has been sort of pulled back into the forefront of discussion these days as we lament over the Cutter Gauthier trade. Jamie Drysdale's name has been pulled right back in the mud on that. Not been, of course, what we've expected from Drysdale. The trade has not really worked out on our side. You know, what we thought we were getting in Drysdale was a right-handed sniper, power play quarterback. But in this case, he does come through, but it has not worked out. And obviously what Gauthier is doing in Anaheim, has been well documented. And I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. We got taken to the cleaners on that deal. We can talk about, and we did talk about it a little bit the other night, whether or not he wanted to be here, or he didn't want to be here. I now that I sit back and think about it, and I see where this team is sort of the rabbit hole that we've gone down with this team. I get it, man. He wanted to play earlier, and the Flyers, I think, just didn't want to play. They wanted him to have that second year in BC. I don't think it was necessary. He didn't think it was necessary. And I thought that was the beginning of a very contentious relationship that led to him wanting out of here. And I think that's as simple as it got. I don't think there was anything else involved there. Now, again, Gauthier's a prospect, a gift from the hockey gods. His entire life, he's probably never been told no, never been told what he can't do because he's as good as he is. And I thought he took that really negatively when the Flyers said, no, we're not bringing you in after the first year of college. We want you to go back for a second year. And I think that ultimately led to the undoing there. And again, this is a shot at the Flyers management. I don't know offhand, or I don't know verified, but I just feel that was sort of the start of that. And what it morphed into, I don't know. But anyway, Drysdale is positivity. Power play goal, his 4th goal. Flyers hold on to the 4-2 win. They were outshot 10-9 by the Capitals in that third period. For the game, the Flyers were outshot 28-22. Flyers would finish 1 for 3 on their power play. Capitals would go 0 for 1 on theirs, but they would score a shorthanded goal. And the Flyers, they would score a shorthanded goal against the Flyers. Flyers gave the puck away 3 times. Took it away 3 times, gave it away 21, and they blocked 25 shots in this game. And that is going to take us right into Thursday night's game against the Ottawa Senators, and we'll have you here for that game. Mike Lara will have you post game for the Senators, and then there's no more Clear the Ice for about 3 weeks, as we'll take a little break. Maybe we come at you with some sort of mid-season check-in show. I'll talk with Mike and see what he wants to do about that. I got to talk to everybody. Actually, it's time for a meeting. But there you have it. Flyers win 4-2, a big win, 60th point of the season now. Kind of right the ship a bit. Try to get things maybe hopefully back in check. Try to get things back going the right way. But Flyers win 4-2. I'm going to wrap up not only Clear the Ice, but the final word, MattyB. Thank you for everybody for joining us tonight. Remember, we'll be back tomorrow night with the final word and all the other great programming here on the network. Here it is again. One last time. There it is. And it's great to be back. Again, one more time, thank you to Big Al for a great night last night filling in for me. I appreciate it. That's what we do around here. We cover down on each other. So you guys have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.